See me here back with a brand new video, and it is another victory lap. But unfortunately, it's a little bit of a somber victory lap, unfortunately, for the Steelers. Steelers get the job done 28-14, defeating the Cleveland Clowns, ending their season on a disappointing note, and our season on a high note. But unfortunately, thanks to Joe Flacco not being able to do a goddamn thing, the Steelers unfortunately are eliminated from the playoffs due to a tiebreaker with the Dolphins. But hey, I'm not going to be that upset with it. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Steelers, unfortunately, aren't in the playoffs, but at least we don't get blown out by Buffalo next week, which I'm happy about. At least we'd rather get off our season with on a high note, only 2 losses after the bye week. I'm very happy with that. Um, there were some good things and bad things about the game today. Deontay Johnson did not play his best today, but I did like Kenny Pickett for the most part. He did have a few bad throws, but still, I'm really liking Kenny Pickett's progress going forward. He's going to be a really good quarterback. I think Kenny Pickett next year will be much better. I think if we realistically improve the offensive line, this team's going to be a much better team going down the road in next year. We get the second easiest schedule next year. We play the AFC South and the NFC West next year. That will really help. Not only play the South NFC West, play Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers. Whoever loses that game plays us next year in Pittsburgh. We also play the New England Patriots at home, and we play the whoever finishes in third, which I think is the Raiders. We play at Las Vegas next year. So realistically, this team could be a playoff team or a Super Bowl contender legitimately next year if we make the right moves. But the first thing we realistically need to do in the offseason is get rid of Matt Canada. I'm sorry, Matt Canada's play calling, for the most part, has been pretty bad this year. I think we can all agree on that. But I think that if we get rid of Matt Canada, I think we'll be fine. We need to bring in Frank Reich. That is the big thing we need to do next year is bring in Frank Reich as our offensive coordinator. Frank Reich would make Kenny Pickett a superstar quarterback. He can make Carson Wentz a legitimate MVP caliber quarterback. Imagine what he could do with Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett, dude, other than a few bad throws, realistically, I really liked his game today. Had no interceptions. This is also another thing that Kenny Pickett, he started off the year horribly with interceptions and turnovers, but now, ever since he's been getting used to the NFL's play style, he hasn't thrown an interception in God knows how long. It's been a while. He's turned himself around. Kenny Pickett ended off this year on a high note, got a great touchdown pass to George Pickens. And he had a great 2-point conversion to Deontay Johnson, which I was really happy about. I had a great time watching the game with some other Steeler fans that I met, one of my other ref buddies. The officiating today was pretty fucking terrible, but with Clete Blakeman, there was nothing to really do. The officiating was just terrible on both ends, so I'm not going to really call too much on it. The Steelers won by 2 touchdowns, so realistically, there isn't much else to say about officiating. It didn't alter the game too much, but I'm happy the Steelers got the job done. We end the Cleveland Clowns season. See you next year, Clowns fans. It's good to end your season once again, knowing that you're still our bitch. The Browns are still the Steelers' chew toy. Pretty much, we are their chew toy, especially in Pittsburgh. We have not lost the Browns since 2003, and we continued it. I did not expect us to win by 2 touchdowns, but we did, and it was glorious. So with that being said, I'm very happy with how the Steelers finished out the season. Only 2 losses, one to the Cincinnati Bengals, who won the AFC North, and to the Baltimore Ravens when we had Kenny Pickett get hurt. Thanks to Roquan Smith slamming his helmet to the ground because of pure bullshit. But hey, it is what it is. We only lost to 2 playoff teams down the stretch, so I'm not going to complain about that. And if you look at the season as a whole, we lost almost every single one of our losses were to playoff teams. We lost to the Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Bengals, Ravens. The only ones that I think weren't a playoff team this year were once against the Cleveland Browns, once the Jets, the Patriots. But after those couple losses, we only lost to playoff teams. So realistically, those games could have been completely flipped around. We could have been in the playoffs. But hey, at the end of the day, I'm happy with how the Steelers end the season. And next year's going to be a better year. What we need to do in the offseason, other than get rid of Canada, we need to let a few players go, including Devin Bush. I'm sorry, Devin Bush needs to go. A lot of these players need to go. I know Dan Moore is still a rookie, but we need to bench him. We need to draft an offensive tackle like Paris Johnson or Pierre Skoronski from Northwestern Ohio State, respectively. But I think this team has legitimate Super Bowl aspirations for next year if we make the right moves. I'm very happy with how the Steelers are doing things, and hopefully we'll make the right moves on Black Monday. We get rid of Matt Canada. That would be amazing. Bring in Frank Reich. That's the number one thing I want to happen. But otherwise, there isn't too much else I'm really wanting to ask for right now. We just need to make small tweaks here and there, and I think we should be fine for next year. I think the offense, there are some things with Canada's play calling that I did like, but as a whole, though, Canada just can't fit on our team next year. But hey, I'll take the win. We get the dub 28-14. I didn't want to make too much of a long reaction, but it's simply put, we're not in the playoffs. We didn't get the wins when we needed to. We losing to the Jets, the Browns, the Patriots. Losing to those teams early in the season hurt us, and unfortunately we didn't make the playoffs. But at the end of the day, it's kind of similar to what happened in 2006, because in 2006 we started off 2-6 and we ended off 8-8, but this time we ended up 9-8. So now Tomlin is now 16 seasons in a row. To start a career of not having a losing season is incredible. I would love that, Dashy. Thank you for knocking the Ratbirds. I would love for you guys to beat the Ratbirds up once again. You guys are playing them again in Baltimore. That's a confirmed matchup. But hey, realistically, I'm happy. I'm a little bit happy we're not going to the playoffs. We're not going to lose to Buffalo by at least 20. So I'll be fine with that, because I don't think we would have had a chance against Buffalo. We could have had somewhat of a chance, but I realistically, at the end of the day, don't think it was going to be. I know you guys beat Baltimore, and you guys are going to beat them again. It's still at the point. There's not much else I really need to say. That's about it. I'm going to probably go home, go chill for a bit. Might join my buddy Alex, APizzle90, on his Red Zone stream. If you guys haven't checked it out, check out APizzle90, youtube.com/APizzle90 for the Red Zone stream. I'll pop in there at some point. The Bears have the number 1 overall pick. That's right. The Bears have the number 1 pick thanks to Houston getting a 32-31 win over the Colts. Please fire Jeff Saturday. That'd be the greatest thing ever, dude. Please fire Jeff Saturday. I don't think, or at least demote him to like an offensive line coach, because Jeff Saturday cannot coach as a head coach. I'm sorry, he can't. Overall, Steelers, it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. But we are looking forward to next year. We will play next year, and we'll be much better next year. I know I wasn't around as much in the TTC this year, but let's be honest, the TTC is pretty much a walking course at this point. I may do more videos in the future, but this has been tough, though, doing videos this year. Not only with my work, but also just been tough with there hasn't been really anybody that's really been able to compete against. You really haven't had any good hate weeks this year. The Patriots week was a good year. And then you had a little bit of just a tad bit of stuff, like the Ravens week was somewhat good, but otherwise, we really haven't had any good hate weeks this year. Just because, as been told, my Panthers one was probably my most fun I had to make this year. But otherwise, it sinks up because the Panthers one, I love making that video, but there weren't any Panther fans around. There was no one around because Abe Petotos is a imbecile, and then you have pretty much what was the guy? Sorry. The rest of the Panther fans, they're nowhere to be found, but it is what it is. There are some positives for the season. There are some negatives. I'll probably do another follow-up video to this, going over my off-season wants and needs, and then doing sorry about that. Doing an AFC video, probably the Steelers' needs and wants, and then a schedule prediction for next year once they release all the opponents. So that being said, this is LC Muscle Swinging here signing out. See you guys later. Stay awesome. Have a good one, and remember, it's always fun beating the clowns in Pittsburgh because, let's be honest here, they're never going to happen. Have a good one, everyone.